Okay, so I was on site earlier today, again using the Leica BLK 360 that you see here in this video. And it was connected to my iPad, downloading the data as I went for the subject property in the background here, the brick home. So that being said, while I was on site, I also captured video of the house. And just basically did a walk around. So this is the house. We're going to be doing an addition on the back. And while on site today, we scanned the entire outside of the house as well as the inside using the BLK 360 scanner. And I'm going to walk you through the process that I used to get the data into Register 360 on the computer here. So at this point, I'm going to stop that video. I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to open up BLK 360 and I'm going to look at the folder here. Just grab the name of it. Everything's going to get dumped into here. I'm going to create a new project. Once the project is created, I want to import and do AutoCloud. I'm going to do Field 360, Test Connect. I have my iPod going with the sync server going. I'm going to hit Add to Project. It'll take a minute here to populate this. And once this loads here, I'm going to select the file and have it populate. And then I'll probably pause it here once I get to the actual importing process, because the importing process does take a few minutes. This initial loading of the setups goes pretty quick, and once the loading of the setups is done, then the import process is going to begin. So you can see I just have one project here that populated from Cyclone Field 360 data source. It's the 2786 East Broad Street. It has 47 setups within it. The setups are each of these points. So I'm going to go ahead and click the import button, and then this is the process that's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to pause it and come back and start the recording again once it finishes. Okay, so I'm recording again. Now you can see it says I have successfully imported the 47 different setups. And it gives me some initial base point to kind of go off of here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a UCS point, and it's actually pretty straight from where I got it out of the iPad. So the UCS here, not really making that much of a difference. Then what I need to do is I need to look at basically each individual setup and just kind of do some visual checking to make sure that I have things as lined up as possible. So again, I'm just looking at visual alignments based on the AutoCloud setup. So I need to check all of these guys. Can be a little bit of a tedious process, but it should go by fairly quick. So, and again, I can't really check all of them there like that, but I can just do. So I'm just checking here, here. Looks pretty good. Okay, check Side view. Usually these are pretty good on the side views. It's mostly the plan views that you have to kind of double check what's going on with these. And I think in this particular case, because my points were so close together when I did the scanning, the auto cloud handled it pretty good coming in. So I'll check a few more of these just to kind of see what's going on. So it looks pretty good. Again, just kind of check the overlap, placement. Also looking pretty good. So then at this point, there's a new tool in here, which is show suggested links, which I'm going to do that. And I'm going to add all the visible suggested links. And this process takes a little bit of time to do it because it's adding several links. Looks like I added 17 of the 29. So I'm going to do it again. And I want to continue to do this until it doesn't give me any automatic links anymore. So then I'm going to do again here. And you can see the number goes down and down and down with each iteration of adding these suggested links. So the first one was quite high, second one's a little bit lower, third one's a little bit lower, and this one here is 3 of the 27. So maybe one more time. This might get 1 or 2. If I'm down to 3 on the last one, again, I would like to see that there are no additional links that have been added. That would be ideal. So still working on this. Here we go. So now it says no links were changed within the setup. So once I see this message, I can then essentially go on to optimizing the bundle. Once the bundle is optimized, I can then go ahead and export it. I do want to do a few more checks where, again, I'm looking at how many individual connections are made here. So I'm going to add one more here. I usually like to add an extra one at the transition points inside to outside. So again, it's just a matter of checking to make sure everything's lined up. And at this point, it should be pretty good. And again, I'll probably add one more just here to here to make sure that we are pretty lined up. So again, I will go ahead and join those two and optimize them. And now I can go into the overall bundle and I'll just flip it into the hue intensity mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crop this down. We don't need to see everybody and their mother in terms of the extents of the scan. I mean, the scanner's fantastic. It scans super far away. But in this particular case, I do not need to scan so far away. So going to a little bit cumbersome to pan around in here, but can do it fairly quick. I'll probably include the scan data here. Whoop. I did not want to do that. I did not want to do that, so I'm just going to pause the video here and fix it. So what I had accidentally done was rotated the box. You can grab the corners and basically the edges and rotate. And I accidentally, you can see right there, grabbed and rotated, so I just rotated it back. But again, I don't really need to see all of this. I'm going to crop it down to essentially just the house. We'll do just in front of the stairs there. Rotate this over. Come down to grab just a little bit of the neighbor's property. Don't want to show all of it. Same thing over here. Just want to rotate this around till, again, I don't need all of it. We'll just grab a little bit of the neighbor's property for reference. And then in terms of height, again, I don't need to see quite so high. I want to pull it down basically to where the chimney is at. And even for the lower level, I don't need all of this. So I'll just do that. And then for the back property, really don't need to see all the way back. We'll crop it to the front of the garage. Then from within here, I'm going to save the box and enable for export. And then just kind of do a kind of final visual check. Make sure that everything looks pretty good before I go to export this. And then I'll switch over to the slicer just to take a peek in the plan view window. I'm going to thin this up a little bit and we're going to go down, look at the basement level. And then we're going to look at the next level up. So again, just kind of looking for any oddities, make sure everything makes sense to what I actually saw there on site. So everything here looks pretty good as well. And then that's the final level there. So everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go back to my sitemap, turn back on my links and my setup. I'm going to make sure the bundle is selected, optimize it. Once it's done optimizing, I'm going to accept the results. And I'm going to publish that RCP cloud, select the folder that it goes into. And I'll hit save. And the final thing I want to do is come into the limit box and make sure we publish that extents of the limit box we set up. So it's not publishing all of the points within here, it's just publishing that selected area that we basically went in and defined what that is. I'll kind of just peek through, make sure there's nothing super crazy going on, which everything looks fine there. And then I guess one other thing I can point out too, if I just hit cancel and go back, total bundle consists of 282,592,906 points. So that's the finalized bundle, and that's why we crop it down, because I don't want to export out exactly that much data, basically. So again, I have to go through this process again since I escaped out of it, but it's quick enough. And then I'm just going to hit publish. It will generate the report and then go into the process. This process will take anywhere from 10 to 15 to 25, 30 minutes, usually not more than an hour. It just depends on how many points you have. If you have a really large project, it can take quite a long time, but typically for a single family home, you're talking maybe 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So it's not too terrible. But I'm going to stop the recording at this point. Basically, this is the same RCP file that you can then load into 3ds Max or load into Revit, and then work within those 3D programs with this 3D point cloud from the laser scanner. But for today, that's all I'm going to do and show. If you have any comments, let me know down below. Thanks.